When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, I'm Angelica Mari and this is Somewhere on Earth. I'm in São Paulo, Brazil, where we are recording this special edition. And joining me in the studio is editor Ania. Ania, tell us why are you here in São Paulo?
Well, obviously to see you, Angelica, because we've missed you. We haven't seen you in a few months and we wanted to come over. And then we had this great opportunity that we were invited to Web Summit in Rio. So we are in São Paulo now and there's Web Summit Rio.
Yes, and hopefully there'll be better weather because the weather in São Paulo is not that great, is it?
We're talking about the weather again. We should rename this Somewhere on Earth the Global Weather Podcast because that is all we have been whinging about. Right, let's just stop talking about weather. Let's get on with some proper tech.
Exactly, and I want to tell you a little bit about Brazil's technology sector, which is thriving as it's driven by a large and increasingly connected population. It is the 5th largest digital economy in the world with over 260 million mobile phones active. It's more mobile phones than people. So Brazil is a major market for IT infrastructure with substantial investments in digital transformation, including its advanced technology in the banking industry, making strides in areas like artificial intelligence and EdTech, with a focus on STEM education. Also, is the world's largest tech conference in Latin America, happens here, like Ania was saying, Web Summit Rio. So we thought we'll go big on this as well, and we've invited the large digital consulting company in Brazil onto the show. Qintess is a global technology company with deep roots in Brazil, and it is at the forefront of digital transformation. Qintess operates in 9 countries and has more than 800 clients across 14 cities worldwide. So we have Alexandre Conceição, or Alex, is the Strategy Business Executive Director at Qintess. Welcome to Somewhere on Earth, Alex.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Lovely. So I'd like to start us off by you telling us more about what Qintess does. Digital transformation, but of what exactly?
Well, Qintess is a very strong company in that digital transformation realm. All companies are in this era trying to transform themselves. And of course, digital is the main asset for them, right? Especially after pandemic time. So Qintess is realized that every customer has a need for digital transformation, whatever stage the company is. And we have a purpose stating that we kind of accelerate your essence. Whatever is the business that our customer is at or running on, Qintess expedite the processes, the efficiency, the revenue generation, and all sort of business acceleration. So Qintess has like 4 main, let's say, products or portfolio. And one is a digital infrastructure for customers that are still running their own data centers. They need the service desk, all technology support on site. We also run like ERP implementations, especially SAP, which is the stronger ERP in the market globally. And then we go with the decision intelligence and data science. That's all about AI and the technology that's transforming everyone right now. And we also have what we call apps or applications development. I mean, legacy migrations, systems transformation or integration. So with all those 4 realms or universe, Qintess is expediting and accelerating transformation of companies.
That sounds interesting. So one of your big sectors is banking, right?
That's correct.
Brazil is recognized by being at the forefront of digitization in banking. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in that area and how have you been helping clients from that sector evolve?
Well, the banking industry is famous in Brazil because of the high inflation for many decades.
For all the wrong reasons then.
Exactly. So the systems and applications and platforms had to be very efficient in terms of managing currency. And we have a very strong regulatory system that's based out of a central bank, Banco Central. So different from US, for instance, that we have Federal Reserve for many different states and regions. We have only a single regulator. And that makes the system very strong and very regulatory driven in terms of standards and how the banks should be sustaining the system. And Qintess is helping most of the banks developing the latest advancement like Pix. Pix is instant payment technology that was released.
Can you explain a little bit more about Pix? Because everybody in Brazil talks about Pix.
Right.
We've had to make payments via Pix.
Right.
But I don't see it in other countries. I've not come across it before.
Well,
but
the equivalent in the UK is faster payments, but it's so much more pervasive in Brazil.
I was going to say, but faster payments is complicated in comparison to Pix. Tell us what Pix is, because I think this should be everywhere.
Well, Pix is a simple way to make transfers or payments between accounts across the entire banking systems. So regardless of what the bank you have an account, you can transfer money quickly just using your cell phone number or your CPF, that's your ID, or the Brazilian ID for taxes, or even your cell phone number. So with those 3 keys, there are the major ones. There is still a random one, but that's for specific. But you can share with everybody else your email address, and just, they can use that in their account or in the bank account and transfer to your email address. So it's very simple. The thing is, the central bank developed a system that centralized everything. So it's not only regulating the system, but also controlling and operating it. So it's extremely efficient. It's running like millions of transactions a day. And all transfers like these are instantaneous. I mean, seconds.
And all of these transactions, they surely generate a lot of information, a lot of data that institutions have to crunch.
Correct.
So in that context, what has been the main challenge for institutions in that regard?
So we do have some customers that are facing challenges in terms of using data, right? We are in a time where data is the new petroleum, right? The oil. And it's very, let's say, important for companies. But sometimes the way how the banks are organizing that information is not well structured enough to extract the most of it. So we do have a lot of practices, offers, standards, frameworks that we can help the customers to better structure their data and make that more useful to generate more revenue or be more efficient or serve better the customer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fascinating. So that gives us a good segue to bring in our second guest, Yan Sym, who's a data science manager at Qintess. Welcome to Somewhere on Earth.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
I like you to chip in on what Alex just said and give us what is digital transformation looking like in that context of data overload.
Yeah, Angelica, you're right. Digital transformation gets thrown around a lot, but for us at Qintess is deeply practical. It often starts with a business pain points, like Alex said. Maybe a bank wants to speed up loan process, or a big retailer wants to reduce customer churn. And from there, we bring a mix of strategy and technology. For example, in one recent project involved a big financial institution here in Brazil, was struggling a lot with manual loan processes. But here at Qintess, we helped them design an end-to-end AI-powered credit scoring system that cut decisions from some days to a few seconds. At the same time, we also bring transparency into the models, our machine learning models, so they can remain audit compliant. So for us at Qintess, transformation means creating measurable impact, and it's all about aligning data and AI to actual business goals, not just deploying tools for the sake of it.
So you're talking about AI there, Alex, but that raises questions. Will it make banking more secure, or will it bring in more vulnerabilities?
Well, I think that's a very good question. As Ian was saying, applications of AI have to be very business-driven. I mean, you have to have a very good objective set in order to apply the technology to extract the most value of it, right? But at the same time, we see a huge wave, like a tsunami of applications that the consumer is using, right? We're using at home tons of tools of technology that's even free, right? And people is actually bringing that to the corporate environment. They're bringing that to the, and that's like you said, it brings like some security issues because you may have like data exposure. You can share information from the company with platforms that are not allowed to be used according to the policies of the bank or the organization. So you do have both scenarios, like you said, and there is a need to have like a strong policy that can catch up the speed of that technology. Otherwise, you may have rules, standards, and policies in your organization that is too obsolete and it is not following up the speed of the technology. So the company has to pick up fast. And those are things, like Yan was saying, that we kind of help our partners or customers to develop from the strategy all the way down to the technology implementation if it's needed.
Sure. And Alex, still on AI, there's been a lot of talk about agentic AI, and that's something companies from all sectors are all over. So tell us a little bit about Qintess's vision on agentic AI.
Well, we just believe that it's a new way of implementing it where it's really useful, right? So you cannot use AI or machine learning solutions or deep learning solutions everywhere for everything, with no control. So with your workflow or your ERP platform or customer channel in terms of relationship, you can apply some agents that are really specific to drive the value that you're looking for. So if you have like a chatbot that's contacting with the customer, you can really have some more information and make it learn fast because it's just connecting with the customers in terms of a relationship. It's very specialized. So it makes a lot of difference if you have like a strategy in terms of AI implementation, putting like some agents or some components that is really delivering value specialized on what it was made for.
It's so good.
Uh-oh, the last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can even finish the bachelor's degree you started in 22 months for $20,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by pace, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Tough, but good AI doesn't work without good data. So I like to bring this conversation back to Ian and ask you, in the context of financial institutions, Ian, what are the biggest data challenges for these companies, and how is Qintess helping these companies address these issues?
Yeah, Angelica, that's a very good question. And as you said, there's a thing called garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't have well-structured data, it won't be possible to build good machine learning and AI applications. So financial institutions in Brazil, like many around the world, usually face three main data challenges. One is data fragmentation, the other is data quality, and the other is regulatory pressure. So data tends to live in silos across different systems within the organization. Usually legacy infrastructure is still a reality. Then there's also the regulatory environment with strict rules around regarding data handling, such as LGPD, which is the Brazilian General Data Protection Law. And finally, we often see issues with inconsistent or incomplete data, which undermines analytical and AI initiatives. So our strategy here at Qintess is to address this by helping our clients to build strong data foundations. That means creating centralized data lakes, setting up governance frameworks, and implementing data quality pipelines. And only in the final layer of our solution, there are the machine learning and analytical and artificial intelligence components to enhance the decision-making process. And just to complement something that Alex said, usually sometimes you want to find the sweet spot between having the best machine learning model, which can have multi-layers and a lot of neural networks, but maybe that's way more difficult to understand and comprehend what the model is saying. So here at Qintess, we're trying to find the sweet spot for our clients between having the best model, but also the most interpretable and useful model in production.
You said my favorite words. I think regular listeners and subscribers will know rubbish in, rubbish out, and the whole aspect of data quality. So it is music to my ears, Ian, hearing you say all those things about the data silos, about integrating, about getting that good data quality there. So I'm finding this really quite exciting because, you know, the data is going to be so useful to customers, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But can I address the elephant in the room here? When we talk about AI, it's unavoidable to bring in that classic question, will AI take our jobs? And how do you address that at Qintess? Do you hear your clients perhaps voicing that concern?
That's a very good question, Angelica, and that's quite true. I mean, we do hear that a lot. It's typical. Humans, they fear the unknown, right? That's classical. I mean, everything that's new, that's coming out, it's always people fearing about that. And that everyone that's writing something today, I would say an editor or a programmer, whatever your product is, like something written, you're real under risk to be replaced. That's true. But the chance that you have, and what we kind of discuss with our customers, is that literacy about that is critical. You cannot bring AI into your organization without learning about it, understanding what it does. So it's very important to start training programs and making, the employees understanding what's the impact and learning how to use the technology. So, of course, I was a programmer in the past, right? And I used to write a lot of code. Nowadays, I'm actually using AI to speed up that process, right?
So that's called vibe coding, right?
Exactly. So the way how you can avoid that obsolescence, let's say, of the worker is actually letting them learn, and keep learning about the technology and how it can improve your own work, your own delivery.
So would it be right to say that those that are more threatened, let's say, are the ones that don't learn how to use AI to their advantage?
That's typical, but not only AI, but in everything else that, society produced in terms of innovation.
Fair enough, yeah.
And just remember that we did our program, Is AI Going to Replace Your Job, a few months ago with that huge study in the Journal of Economic Behaviour and Organisation that was by the Oxford Internet Institute and the Copenhagen Centre for Social Data Science. And it's exactly as you said, Alex, it's those more repetitive jobs,
right.
So the coding was one thing. Translators was another.
Right.
I mean, AI still isn't quite there because it hasn't got the nuances of language, quite human language, real language, right?
But it's becoming stronger. I mean, the speed of perfection is amazing.
Absolutely. And also it is instinctive, I think, now for younger people to use AI in a way, it's our children teaching us. Mm-hmm. In a way that's completely natural. My teenagers are always laughing at my husband. He won't be listening. It's fine. I can say this. Yeah. But no, Tata, you've got to do it this way. No, that you got that answer because you didn't ask the right question, and they instinctively now do ask the right questions, and we have to learn them.
That's the prompt engineering, and if you don't have the right context and define the right information, and we're talking about Gen AI here, right? And you can really produce some content that's useful and has no hallucination, like AI is not inventing something that makes no sense, then you really need to go deeper into prompting. Otherwise, you won't get like the best result out of it.
Sure. Can we delve a little bit deeper into Gen AI, which is another big thing in the whole AI universe? So, Yan, how is Qintess using Gen AI to enhance decision-making processes in multinational firms?
Here at Qintess, we use generative AI and agentic AI as more than just a tech trend. It's also a strategic enabler for business, especially in financial services. For example, we have been leveraging generative AI to improve credit risk modeling through synthetic data generation, which allows institutions to test and validate models under different market scenarios while preserving their data privacy. And another powerful use case is in document processing. Many financial institutions deal with unstructured data, for example, PDF or contracts or scanned forms, and we are deploying large language models, or for short, LLMs, to extract key insights and drastically reduce manual review times. We also have our own chatbot applications, which have some guardrails on it, so that we can reduce the times that the algorithm is hallucinating. These tools are helping clients make smarter, faster decisions by turning massive and messy datasets into clear and also actionable intelligence.
Okay, so in this whole AI universe, one big buzzword is synthetic data, because it seems that all the AI systems have already eaten up all the natural data there is. So what is synthetic data and what is the role of it going forward?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting and also technical question. I think that synthetic data is something that you generate so that you have data that is not ready or available in the real world or in real scenarios. So let's say, for example, for a financial institution, you want to model some type of credit card or fraud detection modeling, and you don't have available information of what would happen if the client got a specific loan, because of course you can't give credit to anyone, right? So you use synthetic data and this sort of artificial generated data to help the business understand what would happen in different kinds of market scenarios and other situations that usually don't happen in the real world. This also happens, for example, in, let's say you want to do an image detection module, and you don't have images of something that you want. So you create these artificial generated images, and then you can feed them to your algorithm so that it learns with these synthetic generated data.
All right, that's really interesting. Just to wrap this up, Alex, would you be able to comment about banking security and in the context of AI? Will it improve the current scenario? Because it's quite critical, right? Or
right.
Would it lead to new vulnerabilities?
Well, that's a very interesting point. Banks, they do have like strong system to, avoid fraud. And the platforms and the technology for decades were developed using like just standard rules. So in order to avoid some kind of stealing transaction from a credit card or a fraud of a transfer from your account, the systems, they do have rules that you can put them down. But the problem is they do detect also real transactions, and they create a collateral effect that's called, false positive. So you may be purchasing something in a store, and all of a sudden you get the transaction blocked, right? Or you cannot.
I had that this morning with my first usages of my card when I came to Brazil, despite telling the bank that money was coming to Brazil.
So probably the system that the company is using or the bank is using is something older that has some rules and actually is capturing, real transactions. The thing is, after you apply like machine learning and some AI, you can actually reduce a lot, because the amount of variables that the technology can control can give like a better precision in terms of if the transaction is real or it's a fraudulent transaction. So actually the banks are benefiting a lot in terms of applying AI, because these can be really effective in terms of precision for fraud detection for customers.
That's really fascinating. It's a never-ending set of subjects that we have to discuss. Well, unfortunately, that's all we got time for. So I'd like to thank you very much, Alex Conceição and Yan Sym from Qintess. So that's it. Get in touch via hello@somewhereonearth.co or via WhatsApp on +44 7486 329 484. A huge thank you to the team at Yourcast Studios in São Paulo, where this edition of Somewhere on Earth was recorded by Alex and Laís. Production manager is Liz Tuohy. Our editor is Ania Lichtarowicz. Somewhere on Earth is a proud partner of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. It's Michael Calore, Director of Consumer Tech and Culture at Wired, here with my colleagues, senior writer Lauren Good.
Hello.
And Wired contributor Zoe Schiffer.
Hey, everyone.
We're here to tell you about our new podcast, Uncanny Valley, a show about the people, power, and influence of Silicon Valley.
Every week, we get together to talk about how technology and culture from the Valley is influencing our everyday lives.
We dig into questions like, will we ever get our privacy back? Is OpenAI for real? And how are Silicon Valley billionaires impacting U.S. elections?
The first episode of Uncanny Valley comes out on October 31st. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.